Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I am Patricia, and I want to welcome you. Today, I am embarking on a new adventure, and I'm so excited to take you with me. So, I'm going to go ahead and detail a little bit about myself so that you can understand the inspiration behind the channel and what actually got me started doing what I'm doing. So, I am a qualified mental health specialist. I actually just graduated with my bachelor's degree in psychology. And so, the inspiration for this channel is to help with and debunk the myth of mental issues. And when I say debunk the myth, what I'm saying is that for such of a long time, people that had mental issues were looked at as such of a negative spotlight. And so, what I want to do is I want to come on here and give you guys information about why it is important to understand if you have a mental issues, some signs and or symptoms of mental issues. I'm going to actually go through a list of some mental issues, and I'm going to help you understand how myself overcame many traumatizing and traumatic experiences that seemed as though they would have landed me in a space of just mental incapacity. However, I have used those issues to master and or study the information in order to serve you and give it to you. And so many of you know, or maybe you don't know, that I'm actually an author. I wrote a book titled Succumb many years ago. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about it. It's available on Amazon for purchase. It is called Succumb, the Ending to the Beginning. And I know that it's such an awkward title, but I'm going to explain it to you. So, succumb means to kneel, to bow down, to fall down. And the ending to the beginning is because many people have to understand that in life we go through cycles. And then there is a point where you come to a full circle moment. My full circle moment is today. And this is actually why I got motivated by God to get on this channel and talk to you about a lot of things that I've endured and been through in hopes that it will inspire and help you. Okay, so about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I wrote this book. And it was about a girl named Vanessa who had a traumatic childhood. So many things happened to this young woman. And what she did was she dived into the first opportunity to escape out of her household with her family. And she found this man, she met this man, and he was extremely abusive. And he seemed as though he was supposed to be a good guy, but he wasn't. And so she goes through more things within this time period that she's with him. And then all of a sudden, her life changes. Now, it took a long time, but then her life changes. She meets someone that opens a door of opportunity to help give her healthy coping habits, strategies, and methods to overcome and become a new version of herself. Ultimately, peeling back the layers like a caterpillar so that she can emerge into a beautiful butterfly and fulfill her destiny. You have to purchase the book. It is such of a wonderful way to apply practical scripture and information in such of like a modern way. It's really a page turner. I actually just had someone read it. It was a guy that finished it in 3 days. So that was really inspiring to me. However, when I wrote the book, I didn't know that I was writing about myself. So I wrote it, and then as time went on, probably about a year later, maybe 6 months or so, I started to go through some of the same things that I had wrote about, not even realizing that Vanessa was myself. And so you're going to want to read it and share it with other people. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Most people can't even get past the maybe the third or fourth page because some of the things that end up coming up in them bring them to a place of, oh my God, this is me. And so I promise you, you're probably going to find yourself in the pages of the book as Vanessa or another character that has been impacted by some of these experiences. Okay, so the book is available on Amazon. It's called Succumb, the Ending to the Beginning. Succumb. Okay. And so going through all of that, as I went through all those years, I found myself in a place of homelessness, which is called transiency, where you're going from place to place to place. You're just in survival mode. You're not thriving. I was also a victim of rape. As a child, I was molested. I had many miscarriages. I was almost sex trafficked by a family member. I had a very traumatic pregnancy, endured so many racial discriminations at work, retaliatory behavior, betrayals, so many injustices. And so you would think through all of that would have landed me in a mental hospital. But I'm here today to not only just talk to you about my testimony, but give you insight and wisdom on how, if you find yourself in some of these circumstances, that it's not the end, that you can get the insight and wisdom that you need in order to overcome. Okay. Just be mindful that some of the things that I just said to you are only a couple of the things that I've been through. There are many, many more. However, as we continue to dive deeper into the channel, I will give you more insight as far as some of the things or many of the things that I've endured. And so on this channel, what I want to do with you is I want to talk to you about mental issues, barricades, blockades, places that you find yourself in, and help in order to help you overcome through biblical application. And ultimately, when I went through all of those things, nobody was consistent enough to stay with me through that whole time. People came and left. However, it was a level of suffering that I was not able to use certain things to cope. I didn't turn to drugs. I mean, there were other things that I used to cope, such as men. You know, you just want company, intimacy from men. It was also food. Those were probably the two things that I turned to. Um, and on top of that, it was also conversation, a lot of conversation, talking to different people about things they have been through. And as I was going through it, it was many people going through some of the same things I myself have been through. And so we would talk and inspire each other. And then once that season was over, they were gone. And so from that, I was able to gain a lot of written literature, and I did a lot of research. And because I wanted to understand, I myself am the type of person, I love the mind. Like, I love the mind. And so if you see me looking down, please forgive me. I'm looking at my notes, but I wanted to say this. When I looked at the word mental issues or disorders, what it says is that it's a wide range of conditions that affect mood, thinking, and behavior, also known as mental disorder. Okay. And so I found myself when I was going through certain seasons, I would snap on people, I would be upset, I would be angry. Um, and these were all the moods and mood changes that were coming because I would think a thought, it would trigger me, and bam, I would feel like I was back in that place, dealing with some of the same people in that same circumstance or situation. Ultimately, it taking me a while to move forward, but I have emerged from many of those places. And so as I get on here to talk to you, I am not talking to someone that has not endured and or experienced a lot of things that a lot of people have. I've been through a lot, but it was through me using the Bible as inspiration. I never knew that it was so many things in the Bible that could apply to my life that I use. And so on this channel, what I want to do is, there are so many different things that I can do to give you in order to service you so that you can overcome and be in a better place. And so on this channel, I just wanted to be known I am a qualified mental health specialist, meaning that I have enough experience in life as far as dealing with other people to help you on your journey towards becoming, I don't want to say sane, but balanced. I think that's a better word. I think that's balance. Okay. I'm also a chemical dependency counselor, meaning that I've counseled people that are on drugs. I want to say that was probably one of my most favorite positions, even though it was extremely exhausting because, if you are someone that has been plagued by drugs or someone that is on drugs, it can be exhausting because it's like a rat wheel where they're just going around and around and around in the same cycles. But no disrespect to those that are chemically dependent, because a lot of people that aren't even on drugs find themselves in that same position and they're not on drugs. So it's just something that people use in order to cope with life, or let's just say they think they are coping with life. And what inspired me to go on this journey to be so open and liberal about mental issues is that a lot of times when I was counseling those specific individuals, I found it very interesting that a lot of times we had to go backwards in order to move forwards. Many of them have been abandoned, rejected by their family, molested, raped by strangers, family, or people that they trusted. Many of them had experienced financial setback. It was so many things that they experienced: being gang raped, being beaten, being kidnapped, being um, just in unfortunate circumstances to where they wanted to escape. And how many of you know that sometimes mentally it can be so traumatic, some of the things that people have gone through, that the main thing they want to do is escape? And so, with that, people use people, places, things, or unhealthy habits to escape from mental prison. But I will be honest with you, there is no escape. It's temporary and it feels good at the moment, but normally it destroys something else or it causes problems in another area of your life. And so ultimately, the best thing to do is to get help or seek help or do what you're doing right now, which is tune into this channel so that I can give you the necessary tools that you need in order to persevere, in order to thrive, in order to move forward. Okay. And so I'm gonna give you a disclaimer, but I'm gonna help you understand something. All people have some type of mental issue. It may not be a disorder to where they're diagnosed, but at certain points in people's lives, they do experience some type of mental blockade or mental struggle. So I'll give you an example. If someone dies or passes away, oftentimes there's a period of grief, there's a period of depression. Sometimes it can be moments of joy, sometimes it can be moments of you feel lost. Those are areas where you're experiencing mental problems. Okay, so that's just an example. Okay, many people struggle with mental illness. It's just that some people are brave enough to go and get diagnosed and then take the necessary steps and utilize the tools, apply them along with wisdom to their life to get a different outcome. But unfortunately, after COVID, so many people have experienced mental issues. Okay, COVID locked a lot of people in the house without wanting to be locked in. So a lot of people's rights and privileges were stripped without their permission. And it brought a lot of things to the forefront, a lot of mental issues. Unfortunately, a lot of people died from COVID, but more people died in regards to their mental capacity and inspiration and hope because of COVID, being stripped of the capacity to hug and have interaction with people and communicate. That also can cause mental issues and disorders. So now that we're coming out of COVID, I haven't heard a lot about it. This is going to be a tool or resource that you can use if you are someone that has not been diagnosed or helped in your mental capacity to experience hope and inspiration. This is a channel that you can come to and fuel yourself up. Okay. um, Please understand you are not alone. There are so many avenues that you can take for help. I think we are in one of the most beautiful times in the world where so many people are getting the help that they need mentally. Whereas before, like the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, this was not something that was talked about a lot. There was not a lot of content about healing. A lot of people didn't talk about healing. It was one of those eras where what goes on in my house stays in my house. And that affected a lot of people because there were a lot of things that were going on in people's house. They just didn't address it. Now, because social media has opened the door and the pathway into so many people's homes, we don't actually know exactly what they're going through because everybody puts up a picture and puts up a smile in order to get the perfect click or the perfect like. However, there are still things that are going on in the mind. I guarantee, even as you are watching this right now, there are things that you are thinking about, or things that are coming up, or thoughts of different situations or circumstances that have happened to you and has put you in a mental stupor. Okay, you're not alone. Okay, but you are very brave for tuning into this channel and getting what you need. Okay, so on this channel, I will be providing opportunities to do workshops, book clubs, things of that nature to where we can connect and I can give you content, more content on a personal level that you can use either at home or in your leisure to help you in this battle of mental struggle. So we already talked about mental illness. I want to talk about two that are very, very common, two that actually ultimately did plague my life as well, which was depression. Depression was one of them, and anxiety. I battled with anxiety for years. I didn't even know what it was. Um, but it was more or less, I was so anxious that when I was a little girl in high school, or let's just say a teenager in high school, when it came time to walk through the cafeteria, I was not going because we had to walk smack dead through the middle. And so all those people on both sides staring and watching and gawking and guys or whatever they were doing made me extremely nervous. I mean, if anybody's ever been to Chipotle, you know how that can feel. You got the glass doors, you have to go and walk, and it's just buzzing with music and people. Even though I love Chipotle, I would find myself not going in because of the people. And slowly but surely, as I made up my mind to implement certain things, I got over that. Recently, last year, I wanted to hold a session and seminar for people impacted by depression. Didn't even realize that at the time I was trying to do it, I myself was going through depression. And so I was mandated by God to sit down and deal with the full root of what took place with me in my childhood that had me battling with depression up until last year, last December. And it has been quite a journey and a privilege to overcome all these things. But who am I if I don't share it? What type of believer would I be if I would not share the content and information of how God helped me overcome? So, on this channel, I will be sharing a lot of my testimony as far as things that have happened. I will be introducing books that I have written. I will be, like I said, doing workshops. And so you are more than welcome to join us or join me. You can connect with me on Instagram. It's going to be underscore Patricia Tomlinson. Currently, right now, it's the dialogue too, but I will be switching it back to my original name, which if you already are one of my friends, welcome. You can find me on this channel. It's going to be Patricia Tomlinson. I do have free resources. You can go to the podcast on Spotify. It's also available on Apple and as well as Anchor. And it's called The Dialogue, where it's basically me talking about healing. And it's healing souls one conversation at a time, where I share impactful information with you about the journey and you share with someone else. Okay, and so you can listen to that. There are tons of episodes already available. And so you can start with the book, which is available on Amazon. Tune into the podcast and just stay tuned. This is going to be a journey, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the new adventure of helping you, getting to understand things about you, but ultimately serving as a point of inspiration. So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You want to make sure that you're getting your notifications. If you know someone that is battling with mental illness, don't wait until the content comes out, okay? There are many things that you can do to get the help that you need. I'm going to recommend counseling. Counseling is so therapeutic. I've been in counseling for years. They say that Oprah Winfrey has two counselors. So you can never have too much support in that area. If you find yourself going through something private that you don't necessarily want the people around you to know about, because sometimes people get to know you, they look at you differently. So you do have counseling at your discretion. There are centers, I'm pretty sure, located in your local area or the neighborhood that you live in that also provide assistance and help for the issues that you may think that you have. If you find yourself as being someone that is chemically dependent and on drugs, there's NA, there's AA, there's many other groups for support. They even have groups of support for children of parents who are chemically dependent. So all you have to do is look online, and I'm pretty sure you should find something. So another perk about me is that I also was a case manager. So if you need help or assistance with finding different organizations that can help you with your ailments, you can leave a comment underneath the video and I'll get back with you. I'll give you some references for things that can help you. Trust and believe. There are many things to help. There are many things to help, but you have to take the first step and admit that you need it, admit that you see that there may be something wrong, and go for it, okay? Also, on top of that, if you want to just know if you battle with any mental illness at all, there's a mental health screening online that you can go to. What I'll do is I will try to link that below. Um, there's also another test that you can take. It is about your trauma. You can look on my Instagram. That's actually in my link tree. And it's just a free test that you can take. It asks you about 10 questions to let you know if you are someone that has been severely impacted by childhood abuse. Um, I'm going to look it up right now because it actually slipped my mind. Um, it says CTS. That's not it. The ACE test. That's what it is. It's the ACE test. Adverse Childhood Experience Test is a measure of traumatic experiences that examines the relationship between those experiences and adult health, okay, and social outcome, okay. And it says if you've experienced family separation, mental or physical abuse, you could take this ACE test. It's ACE, like ACE, like the deck of cards. ACE, you can take that test. And it will, if you put in your score, it will tell you, okay? So I am not a doctor. I am not diagnosing anybody. I am simply getting on here and sharing my experiences and hope that it inspires you to live a healthy and balanced lifetime. Ultimately, also to see that there is inspiration in suffering because I had to do a lot of suffering in order to get a lot of this content. So, but thank you so much. Don't forget to share this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will be back with more content. Have a good one, everybody.